I'm afraid there are militant suffragettes about. We need to be observant, I'm afraid, because there are militant suffragettes and they're causing chaos around the whole of England. Burning buildings, smashing windows, protesting, and all for the vote, I ask. All for the vote. But there will be some fire this evening and some smoke. Please do not leave the building unless you're told to by one of the cat's constabulary. In the event of a real fire, there will be the fire exits that side and that side. The other thing to note, ladies and gentlemen, is your telephonic apparatus. I'm afraid it needs to be off or on silent, as only the constabulary can use the telephonic apparatus during the performance. Now, the worst suffragettes out there are the militant Pankhurst family. And we're going to hear all about them tonight. And my, they've caused lots of trouble. Ain't it all?
To us.
No!
We protest and they imprison us. They force feed us. But will that stop us?
No!
Never. We are resolved that this is the year that British women shall get the vote. The bill that is currently before Parliament, a bill to give women the vote, has been stopped.
Shame.
Mr. Asquith, our Prime Prime Minister, our anti-suffrage Prime Minister, has stopped it. Remember our motto, deeds, not words.
Deeds, not words!
Follow me then to the House of Commons to confront Asquith in his lair.
They were waiting for us. 1,000 policemen and only 300 of us.
Where you are.
Wish to see Mr. Asquith.
You cannot.
As subjects of the King, we come to assert our right to meet with the Prime Minister.
Yes.
Tell your people to go home.
We're staying here.
All right? You leave me no choice. Constable,
Yes, sir.
arrest that woman.
Right.
I demand that you all disperse immediately.
No!
All right then, we'll arrest a lot of you.
No!
Come here, come here.
That's for
Stop where you are, you bitch.
Give us a vote!
Hey, come here!
Votes for women! Give us
Come here, you bloody bitch! I'll show you what I'll do to you! Here, gents! You can do what you want with this one! Come on here! Get out of it!
Votes for women!
Right, you! Come on! Get out of it!
Votes for women!
Back here!
Give us the votes!
Stop it!
Votes
Hey!
for women!
Don't do
Give
anything,
it!
darling.
How dare you!
Are you gonna stop me,
for
are you?
women!
Come on, get out of here!
Stop where you are. You're under arrest, you.
Votes for women! We demand the votes!
Right,
Votes
you.
for women!
Come here! Get out of it! Come on!
Have you no shame?
No! Come on! Come on, lads! Sort this one out! Come on!
Several times, constables and plainclothes men who were in the crowd wrapped their arms around me and clutched hold of my breast in as public a manner as possible. Men in the crowd followed their example. I was also pummelled on the chest, and one constable clutched my breast from the front. As a consequence, 3 days later, I had to have medical attention. My breasts were badly bruised and very painful. 115 of us were arrested. Many were seriously injured, and 2 of us died. Things were never the same after Black Friday.
When a copper's got engaged in his employment, on the horses he cannot place his bets. But we know we get a lot of good enjoyment from arresting lots of lady suffragettes. The suffragettes we'd happily all smother, bash 'em, kick 'em, or hit them on the head. Aunties, sisters, or even their poor mother, we don't care if they're alive or even dead. When constabulary duties to be done, our policeman's lot is such a happy one. Now men all know that women are inferior, that their place is in the kitchen or the bed. And coppers know we really are superior, which is why we like to hit them on the head. When constabulary duties to be done, our policeman's lot is such a happy one. Evening all.
have you to say for yourself? The behaviour of the police on Friday was abominable. Are they to be disciplined?
Mrs. Pankhurst, the Metropolitan Police behaved with a forbearance and humanity for which they have always been known. I repudiate the unsupported allegations of brutality which have issued from that copious fountain of lies, the Women's Social and Political Union. Your organization, I believe.
Since the violence of your government's actions amounts to a declaration of war against women, we have no choice but to declare war on the government.
Granting the vote to women would be a danger to the British Empire. It would be subversive to the peace of our homes. Political activity would take a woman away from her proper sphere and highest duty in life, which is motherhood.
Nonsense!
Women have neither the calmness of temperament nor the intellectual capacity to exercise the vote.
Rubbish! Give us the vote!
Arrest that woman!
Yes, sir.
Votes for women!
You, they're under arrest. Come with me, you.
Giving women the vote would be a source of weakness in India. It would undermine the empire.
Oh, nonsense! Rubbish!
Come here, you.
Give us the vote! Vote for women!
And where would it all end? Can you imagine a woman MP? Or a woman cabinet minister, perhaps? They might even want a woman prime minister. Huh! The whole idea is laughable. The majority of women do not even require the vote, and if it were granted, it is highly likely that a large number wouldn't even use it.
Constable,
Yes, madam, what can I do for you?
I want you to arrest me.
You want me to arrest you?
Yes, immediately.
And why should I do that?
Because I tried to set fire to the post box at the Fleet Street Post Office.
You tried to set fire to a post box.
Yes, by putting a burning rag in it and setting fire to it.
Nothing was reported to us about this.
Went out, that's why.
And when did you do this dastardly deed?
Last Friday.
Madam, I think the best thing you can do is go home, make yourself a nice cup of tea and have a lie down.
I demand that you arrest
Now
me.
stop wasting my time. I've got a beat to patrol.
Next time I'll succeed.
You! Stop where you are!
I have no intention of going anywhere.
Was it you set fire to them other post boxes?
Of course it was.
You're out, come with me. You're under arrest.
Vote for women!
Miss Emily Davison, you have been found guilty of arson, a serious crime which requires serious punishment. 6 months. Take her down.
I shall go on hunger strike.
Come with me.
Again.
when you see photographs of the Pankhursts, they were probably taken by me, Laura Smith. Not the ones where they're being arrested, of course. Emmeline and her 3 daughters, Christabel, Sylvia and Adela. Their father, before he died, described his 3 daughters and Emmeline as his 4 pillars. Emmeline had also had 2 sons. Frank died of diphtheria when he was just 4 years old, and Henry of polio in 1910, aged 21. She never really got over their deaths. Stay still, everybody.
Women are very slow to rouse, but once they are aroused, once they are determined, nothing on earth and nothing in heaven will make them give way. It is impossible.
Emmeline's organisation, the WSPU, might have been the smallest of the suffrage groups, but we certainly made a lot of noise.
Ladies! The windows! Now! And this, Mr. Asquith, is for you. Oh. Oh, damn. What's the matter with me?
You are under arrest.
Get your hands off me! I'm Mrs. Pankhurst!
I know who you are and you're under arrest.
Votes for women! Votes for women!
Open up! Open up in the name of the law!
What's going on? What do you want?
Where is she?
It would help if you told me whom you were looking for.
Miss Christabel Pankhurst. We have a warrant for her arrest. Where is she?
Well, she isn't here.
You're lying. Wait, come on, we'll search the place.
I'll go warn her. I'll try and keep them here. She's certainly not down here.
I knew this moment would come. I can't go to prison again. I fear it. That last time nearly broke me. My suitcase has been packed for days. One of us has to remain at liberty, and that person has to be me. I must keep the organisation alive and functioning. I have to go abroad.
Sylvia! Oh, how was America?
Very interesting, but I didn't raise very much money.
Oh, not a success then, my dear.
Not financially, but I learned a lot. Things have changed while I've been away, Nora.
I know.
The window smashing, were you there?
Indeed I was.
This violence is a gift to our enemies. Do you know what the anti-suffragists are saying? Why should we give women the vote when they behave like that?
They'll be against us no matter what we do. Anyway, there was no real harm done. The insurance companies paid for the damage. The glaziers made a fortune. Even the police were happy. All those suffragettes to arrest.
I went to see Mother.
How is she?
Defiant as ever. She complains to the governor about the water, about the conditions, about the bath water, anything to get on their nerves. To be honest, I think he's rather frightened of her.
And will she go on hunger strike?
I don't know. But I don't think they'll force feed her if she does. She's too much of a national figure.
So what about the leadership?
Well, I thought I might take it on, but Mother wants Christabel to do it.
But how can she if she's in Paris?
Good question.
Oh, the papers are full of it. Christabel Pankhurst escapes arrest. Christabel Pankhurst, a fugitive from justice. They all think she's hiding out in some country house.
She's quite the celebrity then.
Well, of course. Are you going to go and see her?
I don't know. Depends how long they keep Mother in prison.
They always test your heart. Always. Before the force feeding and after. They have to. 1 doctor, 2 doctors. It's the law. I have a strong heart. Fight, I tell myself. Fight them. They hold you down. A towel, like a bib. A baby's bib. Clamp your teeth together. Fight them. He pulls my head back. Grit your teeth. Keep it shut. Grit your teeth. Fight it. Chew. A long chew. Bite down. Bite. Cork gag. Fight them. I can see what he's doing. The funnel. He pours the liquid in. I feel it. Deep in my stomach.
Adela, my dear, how are you?
Getting better, thank you, Mother. I'm glad you're out of prison.
Oh, only temporary, I'm afraid. They've released me pending further charges. Are you being looked after?
Yes, everyone's very kind.
Better than me, I expect. You know me in sick rooms. I never know what to do.
I'm in good hands.
We are very grateful for your hard work, and you've done an excellent job. Now I think it's time for a rest.
I am taking a rest.
No, permanently.
What do you mean?
I want you to resign from the WSPU.
Are you expelling me?
It'll be for your own good. You clearly can't cope, and I'm worried about your health.
You are expelling me.
No, but I wish you to resign.
I know why you sent me to the north.
Why is that?
Oh, don't pretend. You want me out of the way, out of sight of your rich London friends, and now you want to finish the job.
Oh, be reasonable, Adela. We cannot afford to offend the people who fund our organisation.
Well, I'm sorry I'm an embarrassment to you.
Your political views are incompatible with WSPU policy. You know that.
You mean my socialism?
Exactly.
I thought we were all socialists.
People change.
Father certainly was.
People change, Adela.
Well, not me, and certainly not Sylvia.
Christabel is convinced that the two of you are planning to start up a rival organisation.
Oh, I see. Well, it's nonsense.
Christabel doesn't think
Oh,
so.
She wouldn't. I've dedicated my life to the movement. What do you expect me to do instead?
Horticulture.
Horticulture?
Yes, I thought a career in farming or gardening might suit you.
I don't know anything about farming.
Oh, a healthy outdoor life will soon get you back to good health. And I seem to remember you once said you'd like that sort of life.
Oh, did I say that?
Yes. I'm prepared to pay for you to take a course of horticulture at a college. What do you think?
I'm too tired to fight. I'll do whatever you want, Mother.
Oh, there is one more condition. You must never appear in public again.
Have you got everything? I think so. Check it. I have, twice.
Sorry, Helen. Nerves, that's all.
You're not having second thoughts, are you?
No.
Shh! What? I thought I heard a noise.
A fox, maybe.
Listen. I told you, a fox.
Who's there?
Keep still.
I know you're there. Show yourself.
Run!
Oh, leave it, leave it.
Stay where you are! Now, what are you up to? What have we here then? Paraffin? A hammer? Fire lighters? Planning a little bonfire, are we? Well, what have you got to say for yourself?
Votes for women!
You better come with
Votes
me!
for women!
Helen Craggs, you have been found guilty of attempted arson. 9 months. Take her down.
Horticulture? You don't know anything about farming, Adela, or country life.
Yes, well, I dare say I'll learn. Maybe the fresh air will do me good.
She had no right.
Well, it's all Christabel's doing, of course. She wants me out of the way, that's all it is. I'm surprised she hasn't come after you.
Give her time.
Well, how was America?
It opened my eyes.
Well, Mother said you did enjoy it.
Yes, but not in the same way that she did. Oh, the socialist struggle over there, it made me see conditions for the working classes are every bit as bad over there as they are here. If anything, it's worse. The socialist struggle, it's not just here, it's everywhere, it's international.
Yeah, yes, but you knew that before you left.
Yes, but reading about something isn't the same as seeing it for yourself.
You know she only sent you there to get you out of the way.
I don't care.
Are you going to talk to Christabel?
Well, I'll have to. They've set a date for Mother's trial. She could get 2 years.
Well, give her a message from me. Tell her the violence up here in the north is costing us members. People are leaving in droves. My good friend Helen Moyes left to work for the NUWSS. We shared a cell together more than once.
It's the same everywhere. I get the feeling the suffragette movement is in crisis.
Talk to Christabel. Make her see sense.
When has she ever listened to me?
Well, did she tell Emily Davison to set fire to those post boxes?
Mother says not.
And do you believe her?
I don't know. What worries me is where it's all heading after they've smashed a few windows, set fire to a few post boxes and still not got the vote. What then?
I don't know, but I dare say we'll find out.
Dagger stuff really necessary?
Of course it is. Special branch are after me, you know that.
Oh, it seems rather silly.
It most certainly isn't. One can't be too careful.
If you say so.
I do. How long are you here for?
Not long, just until tomorrow. We have to talk.
Yes, you must tell me all about America. Have you had lunch?
No, I came straight from the station.
Oh, we'll have lunch at Fouquet's. You'll adore it, I know you will.
Anywhere.
Or there's always La Perouse. It's so fashionable.
Fine.
And then after lunch we'll go shopping.
I don't want to go shopping.
Of course you do. The shops here are wonderful.
There isn't time.
You're in Paris. There's always time for shopping. When was the last time you bought yourself a new dress?
I'm not interested in new dresses, you know that.
Oh, sometimes, Sylvie, you can be too serious. Well, we'll go to the Louvre this afternoon instead then. You can't come to Paris and not go to the Louvre.
For goodness sake, Christabel, stop!
What on earth is the matter with you?
I don't want to go to art galleries. I don't want to go shopping. I don't even want to go to lunch. We have serious things to discuss.
Don't be so boring, Sylvia.
I'm sorry to be boring, Christabel, but Mother could get 2 years in prison. How is the union to be run while she's in prison and you're stuck here in Paris?
It'll continue as before.
Well, how can it?
It's all arranged. Annie Kenny visits me every weekend. I give her my orders and she passes them on.
Well, what do you want me to do?
Well, To be quite honest, I don't think there's much you can do.
Well, of course there is.
We managed perfectly well without you whilst you were in America.
But I'm back now.
Yes, well, I think it would be better for all of us if you behaved as if you weren't in the country.
As if I weren't in the country.
I think that would be best. Think of yourself in the reserve. Reinforcements when we need them.
I see. You're trying to shut me out the same way you did Adela. Well, I'm sorry, Christabel. I am not my sister. I will not be quiet.
Well, perhaps you could speak at a few meetings, that sort of thing.
Speak at a few meetings?
Oh, for goodness sake, Sylvia, stop sounding like a parrot.
Like a parrot? People are leaving the Union, Christabel. Good people. You are driving them away.
Let them leave. We only want women who are committed to the cause.
It's not a lack of commitment. They draw the line at violence.
The end justifies the means, Sylvia.
Did you tell Emily Davidson to set fire to those post boxes?
That woman is a loose cannon, but it was rather a good idea, don't you think?
No. Christabel, where's it all heading?
The vote! Where else? Now, shall we go to lunch?
Mary
And Gladys.
went to the theatre one day,
They went for some fun and not for the play.
playing with fire, their favourite game.
To burn down the theatre.
Oh, what a shame!
Ladies and gentlemen, our Prime Minister, Herbert Asquith.
Can I just say how delighted I am to be here this evening, joining you in your wonderful theatre for tonight's performance. I'm certain that I shall have a most entertaining evening.
Indeed, and now that merrymaker of mirth, Mr. Wilkie Bard, with his topical musical ditty, Put Me on an Island Where the Girls Are Few, Mr. Wilkie Bard! Evening, boys and girls. Oh, lovely hat, missus. Oh, the little boys want to be amongst the girls. Bless their little curls, they're all right, are the girls. When they keep themselves as girls, but very sad to state that some of them have got into a fighting mood of late. So when the woman of today comes here, let me be far away. Put me upon an island where the girls are few. Put me amongst the most ferocious lions in the zoo. You can put me upon a treadmill and I'll never, never fret. But for pity's sake, don't put me near the suffragettes. So let us now consider that fellow newlywed. That fellow newlywed soon wishes he was dead. He wanders round the town in such a sloppy sort of way, and to his dearest pal he hasn't got a thing to say. So when the ladies gather near, you'll find your humble dears happy as put me upon an island where the girls are few. Put me amongst the most ferocious lions in the zoo. You can put me upon a treadmill and I'll never, never fret. But for pity's sake, don't put me near the suffragettes. So picture this, the happy scene outside your cottage door.
Your children 3 or 4, Dame Fortune may grant more. Your wife, she stands in Parliament, commanding prolonged cheers, whilst little Tommy's sticking jammy fingers in your ears. An angel I will choose to be the day that woman is MP. Put me upon an island where the girls are few. Put me amongst the most ferocious lions in the zoo. You can put me upon a treadmill and I'll never fret. But for pity's sake, don't put me near the suffragettes. There they go. There they go. There they go.
Vote for women! That's what these are for. Deeds, not words!
Come here, you two! You're under arrest! Come with me! Aye.
Mary Lee, Gladys Evans, guilty. 5 years. Take him down.
Come on.
Vote for women! Vote for women! If Christabel thinks that I will remain silent, then she is deluded.
You shouldn't argue with your sister. I don't like it.
I don't like the direction the WSPU is headed, Mother. You know I don't. The actions of the window breakers tarnishes the entire suffragette movement.
The argument of the broken pane is the most valuable argument in modern politics.
And what about setting fire to postboxes? What kind of argument is that?
That has nothing to do with me. Emily Davison is a free agent.
Surely our cause is based on common sense and justice, not the violence of our actions.
Common sense and justice? Where did that get us? Nowhere.
No cause, however just, excuses violence.
But what is the cause is just, and there's no alternative. We are fighting a just war.
Does that include killing people?
No, of course it doesn't. Ours is a war against property, and we will continue.
And meanwhile, the NUWSS will continue to campaign peacefully, and we will lose members.
Deeds, not words. That is what will get us the vote. Need I remind you, whatever you may think, you are still my daughter, Sylvia, and as such, I expect you to grant my wishes.
Don't worry, I won't go against you, Mother, if only for Father's sake.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it.
But you have to understand that if we're not careful, becoming a suffragette will just become a pastime for a few rich ladies who fancy a spot of vandalism.
How dare you? The very people you profess to despise are prepared to fight for hunger strike and everything for the cause.
So are we all, Mother, but remember, we were once a mass movement and that was our strength. Now we are not.
We tried that. Petitions, marches, demonstrations. It got us nowhere. We have to move on.
I think you're wrong, Mother.
Oh, it doesn't make any difference what you think.
I want to return the WSPU to the mass movement it once was.
It can't be done. You cannot turn the clock back.
I don't want to go back. I want to start again.
And how do you propose to do that?
I'm going to mobilise the East End.
The East End of London?
Yes.
Oh, don't be silly.
It's the ideal place.
Explain yourself, Sylvia.
It's a small area with a big population and a rich tradition of mass political and trade union action. We should be part of it.
But they're all socialists down there.
With good reason. I don't have to tell you about the deprivation, about the slave wages, the poverty. They're trying to change things for the better down there. Isn't that what we want?
Of course it is.
I think I could do some good down there.
We are not in the purpose of good works. You know that, Sylvia. Need I remind you, we have one purpose, and one purpose alone, that is to get the vote. Oh, why can't you just go back to being an artist?
Because I can't, Mother. I am determined to set up a branch of the WSPU in the East End.
Well, if that's your choice, I won't forbid it.
It is, Mother. It is.
we rented a shop in Bow Street and opened the East London branch of the WSPU. I don't know what we expected, but it was a bit of a mixed reception, to say the least.
Here we are, hot off the press.
Excellent.
Well, shall we begin?
Let's.
Suffragette! Get your copy of the Suffragette!
Copy of the Suffragette!
Suffragette!
Oh,
Get your
sir.
copy of the Suffragette!
Would you like a copy of the Suffragette?
Would I what?
Copy of the Suffragette, 1 penny.
I can think of better ways to spend a penny. Last a long time in the privy, that would.
I don't think it's going to be easy, Sylvia.
All the more reason to persevere. Suffragette!
Suffragette!
Get your copy of the Suffragette!
Copy of the Suffragette!
Suffragette! Get
Ladies!
your copy of the Suffragette!
Ladies, might I interest you in a copy of the Suffragette?
You got two problems, dear. One, I ain't a lady. And two, I'm like everyone else around here. Thick, stupid and can't read. So it's no good giving me a bloody newspaper.
Oh, take no notice of her. She got that bed the wrong side this morning. And of course you can bloody read.
Come on, Annie.
How much?
A penny, cheap at the price.
All right, give us a copy.
What you want that for?
Why shouldn't I? Are you thinking of joining us? Oh, I don't know.
No, she ain't.
We meet twice a week. Everybody welcome. You know where we are? Yeah, Bow Street. Old bakery opposite St Mary's.
Listen, dear, why don't you sod off back up west where you came from?
Yeah, I think. Steady on there, Flo.
Spit it out, girl.
I will. Yeah, give me a chance. Yeah. You're Sylvia Pankhurst, aren't you? I've seen your picture in the paper. I heard you were down here. I met some of your suffragettes when I was in Holloway. You were in prison? Yes.
Wasn't she just? Dock strike last year. Some bloody strike breaker took a swing at her old man. She gave him one hell of a right up. Looking at her, you wouldn't think she had it in her, would you?
I got put on bread and water, didn't I? For playing football in the exercise yard with those suffragettes. So do you want to join us? Well, I'll think about it. How about you?
Me? You all heard what I think.
If you might change your mind.
Bloody suffragettes! Where was your lot during the dock strike? We were there, weren't we, Gal?
We were.
Marching with the men. We asked your lot for support and you refused us. You even condemned us. And what about the women at the Pink's Jam Factory strike? I didn't see no suffragettes on the picket line.
No, but we should have been there, and I regret that we weren't.
Ha! Some good that is.
But we will be there next time. You have my promise. I heard you speak once. Labour Party rally for George Lansbury.
You spoke for Lansbury?
Yes, you were ever so good, Flo. She's a socialist, just like you.
We're all socialists here.
Well?
Go on then. Give us a copy. What time did you say your meeting was? Leave it alone.
Yeah. Okay.
Stop the force feeding! No more force feeding!
One tragedy to save the others. That's my plan. Then they'd have to stop the force feeding. I intend to throw myself over the balcony.
Open up! Unblock this door!
Not until you stop the force feeding! Stop the force feeding!
You stupid woman!
Here, my wife's a suffragette. Next door's dog bit her. She wanted to know what I was going to do about it. Well, he ain't got it no more. I bought it. Anyway, kept on biting the wife, so I took it to the vets. Oh, I didn't have it put down. I had its teeth sharpened. Here, you hear the one about the suffragette thought she could fly? Chucked herself off the 3rd floor balcony at Holloway.
Don't you realise this floor. Tell me next time you're going to jump and I'll get it removed. Oh, take her away.
Stop the force feeding!
Why don't you shut up? Here, how do you stop a suffragette from drowning? You take your boot off her head. My best pal, his wife's a suffragette. Took her to the zoo last week. Threw her to the lions. Got done for cruelty to animals. Did you hear the one about the suffragette? Needed her head examining.
Get a doctor quick! Emily Davison's throwing herself down the stairs. Oh God, she's out cold.
Mr. George Lansbury.
Force feeding is a dangerous and brutal procedure which has left many women injured, and I appeal to the Prime Minister to release the imprisoned suffragettes.
They can leave prison the day they give an undertaking not to repeat their offences.
You know the women cannot give such an undertaking. It is ridiculous to ask them. You, sir, are beneath contempt.
Order! Mr. Lansbury.
You call yourself a gentleman, yet you forcibly feed and torture women. You ought to be driven out of office. You'll go down in history as the man that murdered innocent women. It's the most disgusting thing that's happening in England. It's disgraceful and contemptible.
Mr. Lansbury, you are ordered to leave this house.
I will not leave while these thugs are murdering women.
If you do not leave, I shall have you ejected.
Then I shall resign. I will force a by-election at which I will stand as an independent on one issue, that of votes for women. And when I am re-elected, I will attack this government on every issue until they grant women that vote. Good day to you, sirs.
What should we do about Lansbury?
Nothing. Ignore him.
I think he's useful. I think we should support him.
How can we? The man is a socialist. He's in the Labour Party.
All the better. When he gets elected, it'll discredit the Labour Party by showing up their timidity on women's suffrage, and it will demonstrate to the Liberal government that ordinary men really do support women's suffrage. And when he wins, we will get a voice in Parliament dedicated to the idea of women's suffrage. I think we should throw the whole weight of the WSPU behind him.
Well, if you think it best.
I do.
But we must make it absolutely clear to the voters that whilst we support his suffrage aims, we do not support his socialism.
Of course.
We'll need someone reliable to take charge of the East End campaign.
Sylvia is already there.
I said someone reliable.
As you wish.
Grace Rowe would be eminently suitable.
I agree. We'll send Grace.
Posters. I've got the posters and leaflets from the printers. They're coming at the end of the week. Right, I'll put the word out and get a team together to deliver them.
But what if he loses?
He won't lose. He's too bloody popular.
But will he still be popular when it's all about votes for women?
Of course he will. Can you really imagine a Conservative getting around here? I said the Kaiser's got a better chance than Reginald blinking Blair.
Excellent. You've made a start.
Grace, what are you doing here?
Hello, Sylvia and Nora. Nice to see you again. Hello, everyone.
What do you mean, made a start?
Lansbury, on the campaign. Thank you for volunteering. I take it that this is campaign headquarters.
No, the campaign's being run from the Labour Party headquarters.
Definitely not. We will run our campaign from here. We're not to involve ourselves with any other organisations or political parties, particularly not the Labour Party.
Who says?
It's WSPU policy.
Well, it ain't mine.
Grace, why are you here?
I assumed you knew. I've been placed in charge of the suffragette campaign here in the East End. Christabel's orders.
Well, that takes the blooming biscuit, that does. If you think you can come swanning in here like Lady Muck, taking over without so much as a by your leave, well, you've got nothing coming.
Yeah, you should soddle back up west where you came from and leave us to get on with it.
Oh, well, really.
Here! Shall I belt up or will you?
They told me it might be difficult, but I won't be daunted.
Tell her to get lost, Sylvie.
I assure you, I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, well, if you're not, I am.
Middle!
Yeah.
Yeah,
Laura, you come in.
Sylvia,
No, look, Lansbury isn't just our MP, he's our friend. We can't leave him in the lurch, not when he needs us most. It's vital that we get him elected. So, bite your tongues and stay. Well,
If it's what you want.
it is.
All right, I'll stay and see it through. But I ain't happy.
Oh, I knew you'd see sense.
Oh, be quiet, Grace. But I can't have divided loyalties, so for the duration of the campaign, I'll work in another district.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Come on, please. Lots to do to support George.
Now, you all know me, George Lansbury. I have been your MP for 3 years, and I am calling on you once again to support me.
You got it! You got it! Oh, yeah.
I want to improve social conditions for everybody.
Yay!
I want decent healthcare for all, not just the rich.
Yay!
I want proper and affordable housing for every member of this country. I want decent work jobs for a decent wage.
Yes!
But most of all,
Yeah.
I want our mothers, our wives, and our daughters to be allowed to join us in the fight. Women deserve the vote, and nothing will change until they get the vote. That is why I am going to stand on one issue, that of votes for women!
Reginald Blair, your Conservative and anti-suffrage candidate. It is an indisputable fact that the majority of women in this country simply do not want the vote. The normal man and the normal woman have the instinct that man should be the governor.
Rubbish!
The dislike that men have for masculine women and that women have for effeminate men is clearly an expression of this instinct. Now, the smashing of windows has let in a considerable amount of fresh air on this subject.
Too right, too right.
Do we want window smashers, arsonists and vandals to have a say in government? No, we do not. If you want a petticoat government, vote for Lansbury. But if you want good, sane, masculine government, vote for me, Reginald Blair, your Conservative and anti-suffrage candidate.
Vote for women!
Evangeline, dear heart, there you are. Thank goodness I found you. I've been looking everywhere.
is this where we're supposed to meet Grace?
Grace is a dear, but she's rather vague.
I do so hate the rain. I very nearly didn't come.
She's always late.
Perhaps we've come to the wrong place.
Oh, do you really think so?
Oh, I really don't know.
Oh, well, assuming we are in the right place, what is
something about getting the vote out.
Ah, I suspect that means encouraging the locals to vote.
And how is one supposed to do that?
Well, I suppose we'll have to talk to them.
Really?
Yeah.
Good heavens!
Oh, there's one now. I say, young man, you there? Could I possibly have a word?
Evangeline, dear heart, I don't think you were quite positive enough.
Oh, well, you try next time. I will. Someone's coming here, look. Well, see, someone's coming over there.
Oh, you're there, my man.
You talking to me, missus?
Yes, I was rather.
Well, you called me your man.
Yes, of course.
Well, I ain't your man.
No, I meant it figuratively.
Oh, did you now?
Now, the election. I take it you'll be voting Lansbury.
Well, I do you indeed.
Well, will you?
Well, I did last time.
Oh, excellent.
But I won't this time. Bloody votes for women. Who needs it? Not me, that's for sure.
Oh, you're here. Jolly good, jolly good. We wondered if this was the right place.
Oh, you mean we've come to the wrong place?
Well, it was you who told us to meet here.
Did I? So I did. Silly me. Now, we need to get ourselves organised. We need to get voters down to the polling station, that sort of thing. So come along, ladies, let's make a start. Oh, hello.
Where are the cars?
What cars?
You were supposed to have organised enough cars to pick up the Lansbury supporters from their homes and make sure they get to the polling station.
Some of the buggers are too lazy to walk, especially when it's raining.
Well, nobody told me.
Have you done an election before?
Well, no.
Actually, you're about as useful as a chocolate hammer. Have you got the canvass returns?
The canvass returns.
The lists of who's promised to vote for Lansbury, so we know which doors to knock on.
Should I have brought them?
Oh.
I'm sure you can.
Want a job well done, you got to do it yourself.
There. You see? When men have the opportunity to support female suffrage, they reject it. Well, now we know the truth. Shall we continue to hammer on a locked door, or shall we move to new and more militant action? We have no choice. Now is the time for action. Deeds, not words!
Recipe time, ladies. We call this recipe how to make a nuisance of yourself.
Take 1 pint of your best English ink, preferably black.
Although blue, black or red will do just as well.
You will need a mixing vessel.
Take 1 Royal Mail postbox, preferably stocked with pre-Christmas cards.
To your stuffed royal mailbox, add your pint of best English ink.
You will find a stick useful to mix and stir the ingredients thoroughly.
This is an economical recipe and should be repeated all over Britain.
We also find that acid, lampblack and tar work just as well.
But just one little safety note, girls. Always wear gloves. One does not want ink stains on one's hands. And acid and tar, so terribly bad for the skin.
So there you have it, ladies. How to make a nuisance of yourself. Oh, and do try this in a town near you and at home.
Next week on our recipe program, fire bombs and how to make them.
Enough.
Enough of what?
Of wasting your time and WSPU money in the East End of London.
I'm not wasting my time.
Oh, is that so? Well, it seems to me that the East End is not interested in votes for women.
Nevertheless.
Face facts. The working class women you are so keen on are of little use to us. We need women of influence.
We had enough of them in the election.
From now on, we intend to focus all our resources on our campaign of direct action.
A campaign I want no part in.
Exactly. And that is why we're closing the East End branch down.
You can't do that. I won't let you.
No, you don't have any choice.
I think it's up to me.
No, it isn't. We are stopping your money. From now on, you have no funding. You won't be able to pay the rent on your headquarters. You won't be able to print a leaflet or even feed yourself. This, Sylvia, is the end of your little East End experiment.
Well, what do you expect me to do now then, Mother? Horticulture?
You must leave the East End immediately.
Never!
Don't wait for orders. Take action. Spring up and make them listen. You know what you have to do.
January 1913, Suffragettes smash windows at the Home Office.
At the Treasury.
The Admiralty.
Regent Street.
Oxford Street.
Charing Cross.
Holborn High Street.
We are burning for the vote.
And we firebombed Vere Street Post Office.
Deeds, not worse!
Do you know how long we've been friends, Sylvia?
Feels like a long time.
It's less than 2 years.
Is it?
Since my father died.
Do you miss him?
Oh, I so much wanted to go to university, but he wouldn't let me go. Not appropriate for a woman, he said. The truth is, he just wanted me to stay at home and look after him, because that's what dutiful daughters do. And he wouldn't let me marry. And I was asked, you know. Sometimes I think the best thing he ever did for me was to die. That's shocking. But when he died, he left me so well provided for, and he's not there to tell me what to do. And what I intend to do is to fund the East London branch of the WSBU.
I couldn't take your money, Nora.
You're not. I'm doing this for me too. I want it to succeed as much as you do.
I don't know what to say.
Well, that makes a change. But I do know where we need a new headquarters, and I know where there's a new shop. Let's go and look at it.
Morning, Miss Pankhurst. Used to be a second-hand clothes shop, you know.
How much?
14 and 6 a week to you.
Too much.
Well, you won't find better down Roman Road. In fact, you won't find nothing else down the old street. That's the only property to let. Everything you need, ideal shop front, ideal location.
The window's cracked.
Nothing a glazier couldn't sort out.
And you'll pay for that?
I didn't say that.
It's got possibilities, and the location's excellent.
Come on, ladies. Step inside. Take a closer look. Come along now. Come along now. Plenty of space for whatever it is you do.
It's filthy.
Nothing a quick sweep wouldn't sort out.
There are holes in the floor.
Think of it as ventilation. Nice little parlour at the back.
It's crawling with insects, look.
Well, I don't charge extra for the wildlife, you know. Kitchen and all, 3 rooms upstairs. Do you want it or not? There's nothing else.
Go on, we can sort it out. I know we can.
All right, we'll take it.
I knew you'd like it.
Well, what do you think?
Is this it? It's a bloody pigsty! If you didn't have fleas before you stepped in here, you'll have them when you leave.
I knew we shouldn't have taken it. We'll never get it sorted.
No, don't worry, Sylvie. It'll be fine. I put the word out.
Here, you, Mrs. Wise. Sylvia?
Yes.
Mrs. Wise, sweet shop next door.
Hello.
You can do the counter for the shop. I've got an old trestle table next door you can have. It'll be just a job.
Thank you.
1 minute.
Where do you want these?
I'll
This
put
is
them
my
down there
girl.
for now.
Hello.
I'm ready to sweep, Miss Pankhurst, and I've got a duster. Vote for women.
Morning, Annie. Where do we start?
Oh, anywhere.
I bought some crockery and such. We'll be needing them.
Where do you want this?
Put them down there for now. Grab a broom, somebody.
Right, Mark.
Pigsty there. I wouldn't put a dog in here.
Broom, Doris.
Yeah, right, Mark.
Oh, we've got some crockery. Right, who's ready for a cuppa?
Oh, yes.
I'll put the kettle on.
Listen, everybody, I've got something I want to say.
Well, there's a surprise.
Oh, well, thank you, Florence.
You're welcome.
This place, the new headquarters of the East End branch of the WSPU, is ours. And we're going to run it the way that we want, not the way that headquarters tells us to.
Right.
For a start, we're going to be democratic. All those in favour?
Yes, for women.
Christabel won't be pleased.
Well, she'll just have to lump it, won't she?
Now, has anyone got a ladder?
Oh, my Roger's got one. He does windows. Anyway, what do you want a ladder for?
I'm going to do some sign writing. I'm going to write votes for women above the shop windows.
Right.
That'd be good.
Since we're being democratic,
Yeah.
who's in favour of sorting this place out?
Yes!
Right, so let's get on with it. And you lot can take a break.
We are fighting a war.
A war for the vote.
Suffragettes are guerrillists. We are justified in employing all the methods of war that men use.
We have right on our side.
Ours is a war against property, not people.
Suffragettes firebomb Lloyd George's office.
A jewel case smashed in the Tower of London.
Number 10 Downing Street firebombed.
Deeds not worse!
I know you.
I'm sorry, madam, have we met?
You're Lloyd George.
I'm sorry, madam, you're mistaken.
Yes, you are.
I'm the Reverend Forbes Jackson.
Nonsense. I can see through your disguise.
Madam, you are deluded.
You're Lloyd George.
Of course I'm not.
You cowardly hound. I'll punish you.
Help! Help!
Take that,
Help!
you cowardly.
Help! Someone help me! Help!
What's going on here?
That woman! She attacked me!
Is everything all right, madam?
She hit me with that umbrella!
Is this true?
Ask him who he is. Go on, ask him.
I'm the Reverend Forbes Jackson.
No, he's not. He's Lloyd George.
Of course I'm not.
He's in disguise, but he doesn't fool me.
I don't even look anything like Lloyd George.
Could I have your name, please, madam?
Smith. Mary Smith.
Well, Mary Smith, I think you had better come along with me.
Miss Emily Davison, you have been found guilty of assault. 10 days in prison. Take her down.
It is men who will not give us the vote. Attack and destroy things that are important to them. Target all communications. Bring the country to its knees.
MacDonald, are you there? Carruthers here now, pay attention. The whole future of the company depends on what I'm about to tell you. The thing is, MacDonald? Hello?
We cut the telegraph and telephone wires from London to Glasgow.
Damn suffragettes, how dare they? Well, they won't get the better of me. I fought in the Boer War, you know. I shall go and see MacDonald in person. I shall travel by train.
We set set railway carriages on fire.
Damn the women!
And since it is men who will not give us the vote, attack the things that men value. Their sport, their golf and their horse racing.
Carruthers!
No, Smithers!
It's a disaster! It's a catastrophe!
What on earth's the matter?
It's the end of civilization. I could cry.
Go pull yourself together, man. You're behaving like a woman.
Look!
Good heavens.
It's a disaster, a catastrophe.
We burnt down the pavilion in Regent's Park, cricket ground.
And it certainly isn't cricket.
What you need is a good strong cup of tea. It helps when you're in shock.
Yes, of course.
I know, we shall motor down to Kew Gardens, take a stroll around the Orchid House. It'll be so calming.
Thank you, Carruthers.
We burnt down the tea house and the orchid house at Kew Gardens.
Damn Suffragettes, give them the vote! Never!
We are not destroying orchid houses, breaking windows, cutting telegraph wires and damaging golf greens in order to win the approval of the people who were attacked. If the general public were pleased with what we are doing, that would be proof that our warfare is ineffective. We do not intend that you should be pleased.
And it gets worse.
Worse? How could it get worse?
Well, they've only bombed the ballet club.
Lord love a duck, Annie. It's brass monkeys out here.
It's what?
Brass monkeys.
No, you've lost me.
Here, Harry, come have a look at this.
Hey, Annie, shall I tell her or will you? What? Brass monkeys. She don't know what it means.
What's up?
It means it's very cold.
I'm still lost.
It means it's cold enough to freeze the balls of the brass monkey.
Thank you, I get the picture.
People of the East End,
Think she means us. Oh, God.
the vote. Women deserve the vote. And why do they deserve that right?
I don't know, but I bet you're about to tell us.
The laws of this country apply to women every bit as much as they do to men, so it's only fair that women should have a say in the creation of those laws.
Yeah, who says?
It's common sense. Surely you believe that your wives, your mothers deserve the same rights as men.
My wife don't need the vote, thank you very much. She does what I tell her.
As we speak, women are fighting for the vote. Your mothers, your wives, your daughters are fighting for the vote.
Not my wife. She'd get the back of her hand if she tried out like that.
Oh, why don't you shut up?
What did you say?
Deaf are you? I say it again. Why don't you shut up?
If you were my wife, I'd kill you. Yeah.
If I were your wife, I'd kill myself.
How dare you! As we speak, women are suffering in jail for the right to vote, and you talk about hitting women. You're little better than a bully.
Well, why ain't you in prison then, eh? Yeah. Go on, put your money where your mouth is.
Sylvia, no.
All right then.
Yeah, go on.
I will.
Sylvie.
Yeah,
Oh,
go on, yeah. Come on, woman.
Think what you're doing now.
Hey!
Sylvia Pankhurst, you are sentenced to 2 months in prison.
I shall go on hunger strike.
You can call me Smith. Inspector Smith. Special branch. The workmen who engaged on completing Lloyd George's new country mansion left the premises at 5:30. They were not due to return until 6:30 the following morning, that being their usual pattern. We think the Suffragettes must have known that the house would be empty. We believe they reconnoitred the area beforehand. That's one of our lines of inquiries. It appears that the workmen must have left a window open at the rear of the premises.
Oh, that's obliging of them. I wonder how they knew we were coming. Come on, let's leave Lloyd George's little presents.
They planted 2 bombs with timers, each containing 6 pounds of gunpowder.
Happy birthday, Lloyd George.
Is it his birthday?
It is now.
Come on, the car's this way.
Only one of the bombs went off. The explosion blew the fuse out of the second one. No clues were ever found apart from 2 hairpins and a lady's shoe in the back garden. The culprits were never apprehended.
You need not look for the women who planted the bombs in Lloyd George's new house. I am responsible. For all that has been done, I accept responsibility. I have advised, I have incited, I have conspired. Maybe now the government will realise that we are in this to the bitter end. When men use explosive and bombs for their own purpose, they call it war. Why then should a woman not use the same methods as men?
Why did you bomb Lloyd George's house?
To wake him up, of course.
Suffragettes are we, planting bombs is fun, you see. We light fire so cheekily. Militant suffragettes, smashing windows, burning trains. Nobody's safe from the roaring flames. There's no escape from idle games. Militant suffragettes are we, planting bombs is fun, you see. British Museum so abruptly, we lit a fire in the lavatory. That's gone down British history. Militant suffragettes did not was. Spreading chaos, anarchy, isn't it naughty and beastly, making men feel so angry? Militant suffragettes, smashing windows, burning trains. Nobody's safe from the roaring flames. There's no escape from idle games. Militant suffragettes are we, planting bombs is fun, you see. Sending bombs to the post office makes men listen and will doubtless plunge the country into crisis. Militant suffragettes did not want.
Fight. 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 You've got to fight. 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 Nora, is that you? Walk with me. No surrender. No surrender.
Sylvia!
No, sir. Ren.
Enough.
Duh.
You've done enough.
No surrender.
Do you know how long you've been walking around for?
No, sir.
28 hours.
Ren. Duh. No,
Enough,
sir.
Sylvia. You've won. Here, let me help you.
No surrender.
I'm going to recommend that they release you.
No surrender.
In 2 days' time, you'll be set free. On condition you drink 2 cups of milk each day.
No surrender.
No, you're too weak to be released right now. Sylvia was released from prison on Good Friday 1913.
Isn't that just divine? I absolutely love it.
The colour, Grace.
The colour?
Well, is it what you really want?
It's in the latest fashion.
Well, I know, but really?
You don't like it?
Oh, I have no opinion on the matter. Your dress, your choice. But does that shade of blue actually suit you?
It's the same shade as my blue silk.
Are you certain?
Oh yes, I think so.
It looks a little lighter to me.
Well, now you come to mention it.
It doesn't go with your complexion.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Oh, you never did have a good eye for colour, Grace.
But I do quite like it.
Well, if you really insist, you can always go in the shop and try it on.
No, I don't think I'll bother.
Now that one would really suit you.
The red?
Oh, yes.
Really? I didn't think red was my colour.
Oh, nonsense. That one would suit you admirably. It's so a la mode.
Oh, if you say so.
You should try it on at once.
All right, in that case I will.
Grace, I wanted to ask your advice.
My advice?
Yes.
You don't usually.
I'm thinking of changing apartments.
But I thought you liked the one you were in.
Well, I do, but I need one with a larger drawing room. Since I've been in Paris, I've been entertaining an awful lot.
And why shouldn't you? You deserve it.
The Princess de Polignac is always popping round. And my maid, oh, the poor dear, her room is so cramped.
So where do you plan to go?
Well, it goes without saying that it has to be somewhere fashionable.
Of course.
A rather charming apartment has become available on the Avenue de la Grande Armée.
Oh, Christabel, that would be wonderful.
I know, that's what I thought.
But won't it be awfully expensive?
Oh, I expect so.
Oh, you deserve it.
I must admit, it is rather a strain running the WSPU from Paris.
My advice. You said you wanted it.
Oh, yes, yes. Do you think I should take it?
Oh, Christabel, absolutely you must.
Oh, thank you, Grace. Now that dress there.
Yes.
I think I'll go and try it on. Come along, Grace.
Mrs. Pankhurst, you have been tried by a jury of your peers and found guilty. You feloniously, unlawfully and maliciously counselled and procured persons whose names are unknown to feloniously, unlawfully and maliciously place in a certain building gunpowder and explosive substances with intent thereby to damage the said building, contrary to the Malicious Injury to Property Act 1861. You are hereby sentenced to 10 years penal servitude.
From the moment I leave this court, I shall refuse to eat. But I am prepared for my death.
past will be as the merest pinpricks when compared to what will happen. We will do things that will stagger humanity. Don't blame us. Asquith is responsible. Apply to him for damages. Sue him.
Oh, what fun. Jolly Jameson a lark. We bombed a greenhouse in Alexandra Park.
Saunderton Station in Buckinghamshire. Not there anymore. We set it on fire.
Bristol University Athletics Pavilion. We planted a bomb and left it ablaze.
In Gloucestershire, there's Bedbrook House. Nothing stirring now. Not even a mouse.
We've not told you everything. There's plenty more. But to go through the list would be such a bore.
We are burning for the vote.
Give us the vote!
When I examined Mrs. Pankhurst, I detected signs of malnutrition. Her wee hands were cold and she had pains in the chest. And her skin was yellow, tightly drawn over her skin, over her face, and her eyes were sunken and burning, and she had a deep dark flush on her cheeks. I felt force feeding would be inadvisable, since she had already passed too many days without food.
Release the damn woman. These suffragettes plant bombs and commit acts of vandalism and arson, and we imprison them. Then they make fools of us. They go on hunger strike and become ill, and we're forced to release them. And then they go on to re-offend, but no longer. The 1913 Prisoners Rehabilitation Due to Ill Health Act. They call it the Cat and Mouse Act, but I don't care. Now we can release them when they become ill, and we can rearrest them when they've recovered, and we can do that as often as it takes until they've completed their sentence. Arrest that woman! Arrest that woman! Arrest that woman!
You were in Bath.
No, I've given it up. Farming's like everything else. A woman is expected to work twice as hard as a man. I thought there'd be opportunity to actually study the plants, but there's not. It's all toil.
So that is the end of horticulture?
Yes. There are weeds everywhere.
It's good to see you.
I'm worn out again, Sylvia, and you don't look well.
The cat won't leave the mouse alone.
Well,
I keep being arrested.
As long as it's not for planting bombs. We know now, don't we?
Know what?
The answer to our questions, you remember?
There were lots of questions.
The burning of post boxes. We wanted to know where it would all lead, and now we know.
Tried to stop it, but no one will listen. Everything's changed. We've become like anarchists in a Russian novel, all secrets and bombs and plotting, and the public hate us for it. The WSPU offices were attacked. Did you know that?
Yes, I still read the papers.
But not here. Here in the East End, the people are still with us. I keep the flame alive.
Well, as long as you're not burning anything down with it.
What are you going to do now?
I'm not sure.
Come and join me here.
No, I can't. I won't go against Mother.
You shouldn't have promised her.
Yes, I know, but I did.
We all have to break our promises sooner or later. The day is coming.
No, I won't go against her. She is what she is.
But
Why does Christabel hate me so?
She's frightened of you. I've heard you speak. You can rouse a crowd better than any of us.
Yes, but I'm not interested.
She doesn't know that. Where are you staying?
No, I'm just passing through. I'm going to Switzerland for the summer. I'm to be governess to Helena Archdale's children. She's been ever so kind to me, Sylvia. I don't know what I would have done without her. A summer in the mountains will restore me, I know it will.
And what then?
Well, I'm not sure, but who knows what the future will bring.
St. Catherine's Church Hatcham burnt to the ground.
2 large timber yards in London fired. Thousands of pounds worth of damage.
The country house of Lord Richard Cavendish burned to the ground.
Barrington Hall, Dundee, burnt to the ground.
Deeds, not words!
Hello. Good to see you, sir. Oh, there he is, look!
Where? Can't see a thing. God save your majesties.
Oh, find out.
Yeah, take your hat off, missus. God save the king!
Excuse me, could you let me through, please?
What's the matter, love?
The King's horse. I want to see the King's horse.
Oh, have you got a bell downer then?
Sort of.
Well, you should have gone for Cragganer, dear. I got evens on.
Could you please let me through?
You won't get in, the paddock's jammed.
But I must see the King's horse.
Well, you'll have to wait till the race like the rest of us, won't you? If you hurry, you might get to Tattenham Corner.
Yeah, come on.
Deeds, not words! The horse! The poor horse! She could have killed it!
What about the jockey? Did you see? She nearly pulled him off the horse.
Stupid woman serves her right.
Damn the woman!
She must be off her head.
I heard she was one of them suffragettes. Give them the vote? Never.
What about my bet? I bet on the King's horse. I better get my money back.
Emily Davison died of a fractured skull and internal injuries at Epsom Cottage Hospital. On the 14th of June, a memorial service was held at St George's Church in London. The WSPU now had its martyr, and she was duly celebrated. Her coffin was escorted through the streets by hundreds of suffragettes and suffragists.
Rise up, women, for the fight is hard and long.
On the 14th of June, Emily Davison's coffin was taken by train to her hometown of Morpeth for burial on the 15th of June. Her gravestone bears the WSPU slogan, "Deeds, not
And the
words."
cause goes marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. The cause goes marching on.
Balfram Castle, bombed.
Lucas Railway Station, bomb.
Oxford Roth Boathouse, burned down.
Muswell Hill Cricket Pavilion, burnt down. Rowley Regis Parish Church, burnt to the ground.
St Andrews University Marine Laboratory, burned down. Deeds, not words!
On Sunday evening, I packed a suitcase with a gallon of oil and firelighters. At 9 o'clock, Betty Gavine called.
Yeah, I brought a carpet along especially.
And then we headed for Hurst Park Racecourse. It was surrounded by a fence with spikes on top. An unclimbable fence, they said.
But we had no trouble. We just lobbed it over the spikes and rolled over.
We carried our bags through the long grass to the pavilion at the other end of the course. Then we struck.
And I kept watch.
I had spread out our munitions and left a piece of candle burning. It was set to give us at least an hour to get away.
But I didn't. Are you all right, Betty? Yeah, I'm fine. Come on, Kitty, we better get out of here.
At about 2 a.m. on Monday the 9th of June, I was patrolling my usual beat when I noticed two ladies walking down Kew Road. They turned into Belgrave Square and were walking in the direction of Mortlake Street. This was suspicious. It's unusual to come across respectable ladies at that time in the morning, so I followed them. Excuse me, ladies. Can you tell me what you're doing, wandering the streets?
Yes, Constable, we're going for a walk.
At 2 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, we wanted some fresh air.
Now, if you don't mind, we'll be on our way.
Very good, madam. Still suspicious. I followed at a distance. Are you sure I can't help you ladies in any way?
Well, actually, you can. We're looking for West Park Road. We don't know the area in the dark.
Oh, well, you're quite near as it happens. It's straight down there and first on your right.
Oh, thank you, officer. You've been so helpful. Bleeding cop hats.
Thanks to my vigilance, they were both arrested later that morning. Kitty Marion was found fast asleep, fully clothed, asleep on her sofa. Evening all.
It was said of Emmeline Pankhurst that she would walk over the dead bodies of all her children, except Christabel, and say, "See what I've given for the cause." For her, the cause always came first, and human relations, nowhere.
You summoned me like a naughty child. What do you want?
She's ill. She should be at home in bed.
How are you, Mother?
Very tired. And you?
The same. Well, Christabel,
I'll get straight to the point.
I was hoping you would.
Your work in the East End. You are operating independently of WSPU headquarters, and that cannot be allowed.
We're still very much part of the union, aren't we, Nora?
Certainly we are.
This is a family matter, Nora. I'd appreciate your silence, if you don't mind.
Very well.
You seem to be breaking every rule in the WSPU rulebook. Apparently, you even
have a section for men. Lots of our supporters are men. They go to prison for us, they go on hunger strike for us. Well, why shouldn't they join in?
It is against the rules, you know that.
Anything else?
You also have a democratic constitution. You have elections, I believe.
What's the matter with that? I thought it was votes for women.
We are fighting a war, Sylvia. We have to be like an army with one general and one set of orders. We all have to march in step to the same tune, even you.
And whose tune are we marching to, Christabel? Have you nothing to say, Mother?
I'm afraid I agree with Christabel.
What other crimes have I committed?
Your friendship with George Lansbury and others in the Labour Party is unwelcome. It is against the rules to share a platform with political parties, particularly when they are a bunch of socialists. And you have even spoken publicly in favour of home rule for Ireland.
Do you think my politics, my socialism only goes so far as wanting votes for women? Do you really think my horizons are so narrow?
Your work in the East End has to stop.
A working women's movement is of no value to us. They are the weakest portion of our sex. They have no power, no influence, and no education. How can it be otherwise? Their lives are too hard, their education too meagre. We only want picked women, the strongest, most intelligent women.
You mean your titled ladies, your little bunch of middle-class acolytes? Sometimes, Christabel, I don't think you want votes for women at all. I think you just want votes for ladies.
You know what we stand for, the right to vote on the same basis as men.
Fine! If all working men had the right to vote, but they don't! So on that basis, you'd also be denying the vote to most working women.
But it would give the vote to educated women who would know how to use it.
You mean your titled ladies? Everyone, all women, all men deserve the right to vote. That's what I stand for.
But that is not WSPU policy.
Well, it should be. Christabel, I think you only want the vote so that you can have a say in how things are. I want the vote to change things for the better.
It has also come to my attention that your organisation has been receiving funds, funds which should have gone to union headquarters.
What, to fund your fancy lifestyle here in Paris, your apartment, your maid, your shopping trip?
Enough, Sylvia!
Forgive me, Christabel. As treasurer, I know about the funding. All the funds we've had were donated specifically for the East London branch. They weren't meant for general WSPU use. And I also happen to know that some funds that were specifically for us in the East End never reached us. Headquarters kept them.
You are to accept no more funds. Do you understand?
I understand. Absolutely.
We must have a complete break.
Are you expelling me?
Yes, Sylvia, I am.
So be it.
You are being unreasonable, Sylvia. And I think you always have been, and I fear always will. I wish you did not have the name Pankhurst.
But I do, Mother. I am my father's daughter. The WSPU is dying, Christabel, and you are killing it.
Oh, let them give up. I don't care.
They haven't given up. They've gone to other organisations, groups that campaign peacefully.
Oh, nonsense.
Oh, have you any idea what's happening in England?
Of course I have.
It's out of control.
Of course it isn't. I give my orders and the movement follows.
Then you are deluded. It's chaos. It's become anarchy and bombing for its own sake, and the public hate us for it.
And that is exactly what will make the government give us the vote.
But it hasn't, and it won't. Come on, Laura, we're leaving.
I'm sorry, Emmeline. A split is the last thing I wanted.
I know, but it's inevitable.
Sylvia, what? I know we are having a political disagreement, but I hope we could still meet as sisters.
I'm afraid, Christabel, that's impossible. My actions, my politics are part of who I am, and if you can't accept them, then you cannot accept me. Do you remember what Father said? He said that the four of us, Mother, you, me, and Adela, were the 4 pillars of his house. Well, Christabel, now there are only 3.
So we formed a new organisation, totally independent of the WSPU.
The ELFS, the East London Federation of Suffragettes.
We took the suffragette colours and added a red stripe for liberty.
I absolutely forbid you to include the word suffragette.
Bugger off!
The suffragette will no longer accept your articles.
Well, in that case, we'll start our own newspaper.
Right. What should we call it?
We'll call it the Woman's Dreadnought. Because we're women and we ain't scared of no one.
I like that. I don't. The Dreadnought is a battleship. It's too warlike.
Exactly. We'll sink anyone who gets in our way.
I still don't like it.
All right, all those in favour of calling it the Woman's Dreadnought, raise your hands.
Yes.
All right. The Women's Dreadnought it is.
Votes for women!
Votes for women! Votes for all women and all men.
That's right. Vote for everyone.
Votes for everyone! What do you intend to do with your life now, Adela?
I'm not sure.
You are a governess, I believe.
Yes. To Helen Archdale's children, have I disappointed you again, Mother?
It really isn't something you should be doing.
I know what you see when you look at the 3 of us. Christabel the lawyer, Sylvia the artist, and me the disappointment. Well, I thought I might go back to teaching.
Well, that isn't true, is it, Adela? You have no intention of teaching.
So what do I intend to do? Please tell me.
You intend to join with Sylvia. Don't think I don't know.
She has asked me.
There, you see?
But I said no.
You promised never to appear in public again.
And I haven't.
Well, that's a lie. You addressed a meeting in Milan.
Oh, they mistook me for you, Christabel, and I couldn't let them down. And anyway, it was only once, and then not in England.
You were always plotting to take over, right from the very beginning.
Oh, that's nonsense.
Is it?
Oh, you know it is!
Enough. I've come to a decision. I cannot allow you to remain in England anymore.
So what do you expect me to do? Spend my days shopping here with Christabel?
You are to go to Australia.
Australia?
It's the ideal solution.
I'm to go to Australia?
I thought I made that quite clear.
And when am I to go?
As soon as you can get a boat.
Now, here's some money for a ticket. The climate will be much better for your health. There's some money for a ticket and a little bit of money to tide you over. It's not much, but it's all I can afford at the moment. And here's a letter of introduction to Vida Goldstein. That'll help. Goodbye, Adela.
Adela could have refused, but she was too tired, and she would not fight her family. On the 2nd of February 1914, Adela Pankhurst left Southampton on board the steamship Geelong, with all her worldly possessions in a few suitcases and £20. She never returned to England, and she never saw her family again. Of her father's 4 pillars, there were now only 2.
Dear Mr. Asquith, I'm writing to request that you meet a deputation of women from the East End so that they can speak for themselves about their conditions and the need for a vote. Yours sincerely, Sylvia Pankhurst.
Dear Miss Pankhurst, thank you for your letter of the 15th instant. The answer is no. Yours sincerely, H. Asquith, Prime Minister.
By 1914, the WSPU, the Suffragettes, had shrunk to around 1,000 members. The National Union of Women's Suffrage Societies, the Suffragists, had over 50,000. Even the Women's Freedom League had 5,000 registered. And as the WSPU became more crippled and disorganised, and the campaign for violence took on a hold, what has Christabel been doing?
Oh, I've been very busy.
You mean shopping?
I've been doing far more than shopping.
You mean socialising with your new friends in Parisian society?
I am entitled to a social life. We all are.
I mean your new big idea.
You mean that I found God?
Oh, that too.
Oh, you mean my book?
Exactly.
This is more important than the vote. My new book, my revelation, The Great Scourge and How to End It. Every young woman who reads these pages will be made aware of a great danger whose existence until now she may not have suspected. It is widely accepted by medical authorities that 75 to 80% of men have, before marriage, been infected with a form of venereal disease, the Great Scourge. Even after marriage, the danger arises over and over again unless the husband abstains from immoral acts. Such facts are terrible indeed, and the sooner they are grasped, the better for the individual and for the human race. The new motto of the WSPU must be, votes for women, chastity for men.
This way, if you please, ladies and gentlemen. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the National Gallery. Venus at her mirror by Diego Velázquez, the leading artist of the Spanish Golden Age, and one of his finest works, if I may say so. As you can see, Venus is depicted in a sensual pose, lying on a bed, staring at her own reflection in a mirror held by the Roman god of physical love, her son Cupid. If you'd like to step this way, please, ladies and gentlemen.
Wanted to destroy the picture of the most beautiful woman in mythological history as a protest to the government for destroying Mrs. Pankhurst, the most beautiful character in modern history. Oh, and I hated the way gentlemen visitors leered at it.
Sisters, brothers, comrades, yet again, Asquith refuses to meet us.
Oh, no.
He's scared of us.
Yeah, that's
scared we're going to tell him the truth.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to march right up to the House of Commons and we're going to make him listen.
Yes, we are.
And who's going to lead us?
Our Sylvie! Our Sylvie!
Our Sylvie!
Be realistic, Sylvia. You're too ill.
I'll crawl there on my hands and knees if I have to. Now get me.
Uh-oh, Sylvie, you'll kill yourself. It's over 5
am not giving up.
Oh. In that case, we'll have to carry you.
Yes. You can't carry me.
Yes, we can. Somebody get the stretcher from the office.
We'll take it in turns.
Yes.
You get yourself all right, Sylvie.
Get on there.
I'll be fine.
Get her up there. Sort it.
We'll show that action, eh?
Yeah.
Right.
Looks good.
Ready? 1,
Right.
2, 3.
Forward then to the Houses of Parliament.
Here we go.
Sing.
Singing.
Glory, glory,
hallelujah! Glory, glory, hallelujah! Glory, glory, hallelujah! The cross goes marching on.
And again, girls.
Glory, glory,
Stop, stop where you are. You can come no further.
Out of my way. I demand to see the Prime Minister.
Oh, Sylvia Pankhurst, you're under arrest.
Sort him. Well, we're not going to let our Sylvie down, are we?
No.
If they won't let us in, we'll have our say right here.
Yes.
Okay, who's going to start? Me. I will. Something. Oh, well done. It might come in useful. Always prepared.
Are you listening, Mr. Asquith? We women of East London are much concerned about the social conditions in our district. There's great poverty and the rents are terribly high. A lot of the men are unemployed and the women often the main breadwinners, as well as looking after the children and the homes. We want to say to you that when women bring children into the world, they perform the greatest of all services to the state, which is why we should be allowed to vote.
For goodness sake, Sylvia, you should be at home.
Thank you for driving me here, Nora.
Against my better judgment.
Constable,
Yes, madam?
I demand to see the Prime Minister.
I don't think he'll want to see you, madam.
It's all right, officer. I'll deal with this.
As you wish, sir.
Oh, George, make her see sense. She's too ill. She's just been released from Holloway. I've had to drive her straight here.
Sylvia, you should go home. Come back when you're well.
Tell Asquith I want to see him.
But you're blacklisted. Ever since you threw that missile at the picture of the speaker.
Didn't do any damage.
But he won't do anything until you apologise in writing.
Tell him I'll send a letter of apology tomorrow. Tell him that.
I still don't think he'll see you.
Then tell him that I will stay here without eating or drinking until I die or until he receives the deputation from the East End.
Oh, make him listen, George. She really means it.
I know. You are a stubborn woman, Sylvia Pankhurst.
Help me, Nora. I need to sit down.
You can't stay there, madam.
Can't you see she's ill?
She's got guts, I'll give her that. She doesn't look well.
It's because she isn't.
Well, maybe I could hang on a bit, see what happens.
So we can stay.
I didn't say that. I'm assessing the situation.
What did he say?
Well, Sylvia, it seems like you have won. He's agreed to meet 6 of your delegates.
Thank God for that.
We told Asquith all about our lives in the East End. The terrible poverty, the poor working conditions, the lack of decent places to live, and the injustice of it all. I think we were the first ordinary people he'd ever met.
I told him about my life in the brushmaking factory. I gave him a brush. I think he thought it were a bomb the way he held it.
I told him about the terrible conditions in the Eldgate cigarette packing factory. I was 12 when I started working there.
Mr. Asquith, there's a young woman I know, got herself in the family way. Did anything happen to the man? No. Did he face up to his responsibilities? No, he didn't. Huh. And men never do. She had to go in the workhouse to have her baby. When she came out, she got no mother or home to go to. So I took her in. She shared my bed and my room. But there was already 5 of us. Seemed as not wanted to take food out of my children's mouths. She went away. Didn't see her again till 3 days later, when they pulled her body out of the River Lee with her child. Both drowned.
My girl's mentally deficient. Once, when she was bad, she went into the Poplar workhouse. They said I had to let her go. When I got there the next morning, they'd put her in a padded room. I asked the doctor why, but he wouldn't tell me. He said I had no voice, that only the father had the right to ask. Well, that's not fair. She's my child, and it's me that looks after her.
Parliament is constantly dealing with questions concerning the care and education of our children, about the houses we live in, about all items of our daily life. We have a right to say how we're governed. We have a right to change things. Give us the vote.
Thank you, ladies. I think that was a very measured and well-reasoned presentation of your case. And I will give it, you can be quite sure, very careful and mature consideration. If change has to come, we must face it boldly. It must be thoroughgoing and democratic.
I hope you are fully recovered, Miss Pankhurst.
Thank you. My health is steadily improving.
Well, I suspect the news I'm about to give you will speed your recovery even more.
You have my full attention.
Your Eastern ladies were very convincing. The Prime Minister was most impressed. So much so that the government is prepared to support a reform bill which will enfranchise women. I understand the Labour Party is also prepared to support it. Furthermore, Miss Pankhurst, I'm prepared to put my not inconsiderable political weight behind it.
We've been promised things before.
True, but just to demonstrate my commitment, if the bill fails, I shall resign. Now, what do you say?
I'm lost for words. That's not like me.
So I believe. You have won, Miss Pankhurst. By the end of the year, women will have the vote.
On what basis?
The bill will grant the vote to all men and women over the age of 21, which is, I believe, exactly what you wanted. See, I told you it was good news.
I can hardly believe it.
Believe me, it's true. By the end of 1914, women, all women, will have the vote. But there is one condition.
Which is?
There must be an end to the bombing and the arson. The government cannot be seen to be giving into violence.
Sorry, Chancellor, I can't guarantee that.
For heaven's sake, why not? You've got exactly what you want.
I've always been against the violence.
I know that, and I respect you for it.
But it's Christabel who's in charge of the bombing campaign, and only she can stop it.
Then I'm clearly speaking to the wrong suffragette. Regretfully, Miss Pankhurst, this meeting is at an end. Good day to you.
Dear Christabel, I had a very productive meeting with Lloyd George. If you are prepared to call a truce, then the government is prepared to support a bill giving the vote to women. I'd like to come to Paris to discuss his offer.
Dear Sylvia, don't bother coming to Paris. There will be no truce. The government is on the run. One more push will give us the vote. I shall step up the campaign.
My name is Lillian
3 other women of planting the very last suffragette bomb. The blast left a crater 4 feet deep, shattered masonry, and blew out a 300-year-old stained glass window. Deeds, not words!
I have returned to lead a new fight against a new enemy. That enemy is German aggression and the wicked German Empire. We must save the nation from the bestial German hordes which at this very moment threaten our glorious ally, the French. Look at what they have done to gallant little Belgium. Sisters, members of the WSPU, I call upon you to encourage your brothers, your husbands, and your servants to join our glorious army in their noble and righteous battle against the bloodthirsty foe.
But what about votes for women?
Yes. We have called a halt to the campaign for the vote.
No.
Every militant suffragette must now fight for her country as she fought for the vote. Seek out all the slackers, the shirkers and the conches that walk the streets of Britain. Any man not in uniform is a coward and should be ashamed of himself. They should be shamed and branded with a white feather, the mark of the coward.
I wept when I heard Christabel speak in favour of the war. Now she has a real war with real soldiers and real bombs to play with. She's betrayed everything our fathers stood for. This war is wrong, and I will oppose it to my very last breath.
Sylvia, I am ashamed of you. I tell you this. If my sons were alive today, I would expect them to march and fight and even die for their country.
How dare you, Mother?
Emmeline and Christabel threw themselves into support for the war. A copy of Christabel's book, The Great Scourge, was given to every soldier. They taught America to raise funds. They lobbied to get women into the factories. They never campaigned for the vote again.
With our men away fighting, conditions became even worse for the women of the East End. Sylvia was determined to help. She worked hard to defend the rights of soldiers' wives to decent allowances while their husbands were away.
Our Sylvie set up free milk distribution centres for children, a free children's clinic, a cost-price restaurant, a toy-making factory to give employment to out-of-work women, and she opened a nursery.
And above all, Sylvia Pankhurst campaigned for peace.
It gives me great pleasure to make this announcement. In recognition of their stirring and patriotic war work in factory and field, in town and country, in nursing and the armed forces, we will give women the right to vote in national elections. What on earth are you talking about?
Women did not get the vote in 1918.
But of course they did.
No, only some women did. Once again, we were betrayed. You only gave the vote to women over 30 who were householders, which did not apply to the majority of women, especially those who'd done the majority of the war work. Well, Christabel.
Yes, Sylvia?
It seems you finally got what you wanted.
And what is that?
Votes for ladies.
In 1928, all women over the age of 21 finally got the vote, exactly the same as men.
Rise up, women, for the fight it has been won. Rise